Hive started supporting insert, update, and delete operation. Okay, just like ACID operation, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Hive started supporting this IUD after 0.14 version of Hive. This is the version of Hive. Okay, so before that we were unable to insert, update, and delete. It was like just one time loading and that's it. But Hive is currently working with 2.x 2.3.2, I believe. So it has 2.x latest Apache version. Okay, in a community site you can go there and check it what is the Hive latest version. But nowadays this is not a problem, they support it. Insert, update, and delete only for one specific format. I will tell you that format. Which format it allows me to insert, update, and delete the record. Now, how we can do alter? This alter query is for four things. First and second, you have seen this already, but I will write it. Change the table name. Change the table name. A query is, I'm running all this query in Hive cell. Alter table name. Alter table name. Okay. Rename to new table name. This I will run and my table name will change. Second, add column in existing table. So add column in existing table means alter table name. Here I'll write add columns and then column name, whichever column I want to write. So let's say I want to write column 3 and I want to give this as integer. This part we know already. Third is change, or before changing I'll say drop. So drop column from table, from Hive table. This query is alter table name. Okay, replace. So replace query, you'll have to give the column name which you want to keep inside the table. Suppose you have total 3 column 1, column 2, column 3, and you want to remove column 2. So you will only write the column values here. You'll say alter table name replace, and then you'll define your values, which can be your column 1. Let's say this is integer, and I'll do this practical, okay, just in a while. Column 1 integer, and column 2 we don't want, so I'll not give the column 2, I'll give the column 3 as string. So what this replace says, if you have 5 columns, you want to keep 3 columns, write that 3 column inside this bracket. Don't give any 2 column definitions, automatically those will replace as in those will drop. So this is how the statement works here. Fourth is change the column name. Change the column name of existing table. Okay. Now, how do we change the column name of existing table? Again, alter table, table name, change. And this is elegant operation. Alter table, table name, change. And then I'll give old column name, old column name, space new column name, space data type. Old column name, new column name, space data type. And data type, whatever data type you have, string, integer, date, boolean. So this will change the column name. This is like update the column, right? So can we run this in Hypecell and see how this will work here? So I'll find out first my table. So databases, use database name. So tables, and I'll first find how many entry we have in alert table. Desk alert, and we have ID, name, column 3, column 4. Let's say I want to delete this column 3. Okay. So my column, my table alter table definition is alter table, table name, which is alert, replace, and I think this is replace 2. Let me see, replace 2, replace, and then I'll give column ID. I need ID, I need name, and I need column 4. One second. Replace. What is error? Let me read it. Mismatch to expecting column near replace near column statement. To one second, let me see my syntax. This is sometimes confusing, so I'll open anyway, no problem. We have syntax for this. Oh, sorry, replace columns should be there. Okay, so replace columns and enter. Can we again run desk alert command? So column 3 is removed there, right? Column 3 is no more available here. So replace column just like 8 columns. Okay, so adding there was 8 columns and then column name. This is a replace column. This is not 2. When we want to change something, then 2 is there. Now, can I change my column 4 from this name to any valid name? Let's say city or alert type. So I'll change it to type, and I'll say alert table, alter table. Sorry, alter table alert, and change. What is the name I want to change? So I want to change the old name as column 4, new name as type, and data type as a string. If I check this now, it is changing metadata, as in it is changing definitely the metadata also, and obviously the data, because we're not changing data, right? We're changing just a metadata, because this column name is not a data, it's a metadata. Data is different. Data, if I want to change, there is a separate query. I'll come to that part. There I have written the first statement. Hive started supporting IUD insert update after this version, 0.14 version. This is not what I'm doing currently. Currently, I'm just doing metadata changes. I'm not doing data changes. Okay, so let me write it. Let me note the point here that this is applied. The data changes only applied after this version. Data changes applied after this version of Hive. Before it was not supporting insert, update, and delete. But to make one clear point, it supports only one file format. In Hive, we have many file format. This operation will only be supported by one file format. And what is that file format? I will take that separately. So let me go there and see have we successfully changed. This is a type. Okay. So these are the altered thing works. Now say I want to create one table. So I have this many tables created here. I have this many table. This is drop statement. Okay, if you want to drop the table. Sometime what happens if you're trying to drop the table which has some data internally. Okay, so directly it will not allow you to drop it. You'll have to truncate it first. So suppose I have some data available in this TXN records. Okay, and I want to delete this table as in drop this table. So if I try to do this drop table name, which is txn record, sometime it does not work. Let me try with txn rex by cat. So tables, it is working correctly, but I have seen in many times when you have large records. Okay, this is some unwanted behavior of Hive, and that's why I will point this out. Sometimes what happens, they do not allow you to delete the table which does have a data. Okay, so we'll have to truncate it first. We'll have to truncate whenever you're getting any issues. Okay, when you're running this query and this query is not query is not submissive, so you can run this truncate table name, truncate table name. This is one. And second, when you have one database created in Hive, you have one database created in Hive, and this database has many tables. Currently, we have this database as PRWA, and this database has suppose 5 tables. And in all these 5 tables, we have a record. We have a record. And drop database name will not work then. Okay, in case of this, your drop database name will not work. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to delete with the concurrent keyword. So these are small queries, okay, which you can search it when you get errors. But just for a rescue, if you're confused why this is not working, these are the inner concept of Hive. So concurrent you have to use with drop database name concurrent. Then it will delete your database which has multiple table and records are already there. Okay. Well, for now this is working because I have less records. So this is unusual behavior of Hive sometime. Now, second thing, okay, so if I want to create a table, I want to create a table like this. Can we check? So create table name. So create table name is records. So I want to create exactly this table. I want to create a replica of it. So how do we create a replica of it? This is a query. I'll say create. It will not have any data. Okay, it will just create an empty table. So currently I have many records in this TXN records, right? When I run a query, select star from TXN records limit 10. So this will give me top 10 rows. from 0 to 9, where they were started. 0 to 9, if I count, it's 10. Now I want to create the same structure like takes and records. So there is another query, create table and table name. So let me say replica of txn records. Replica of txn records. And I will use here a result keyword like, and I'll give the table name, which is txn records. If I do this, there is another table created with same structure as txn records. If I match with this, so create table name rep txn recds, I can see the exactly same structure. But does this table extract the data also, or just a metadata? This is just a metadata. Rep underscore txn recds. Okay, so just a metadata, like empty table creating. If you have this requirement, you can do this. Then another comparison is view. In Hive, we can create a view also. Okay, so Hive supports view also. What is a view, by the way? View is like a logical creation, right? Suppose I'm running a big query. I'm saying select group by, or select any column name, let's say category. Okay, select category count star from table name, which is txn records, uh, group by category. So I'm trying to count the total category, how many values we have for individual category, and I want to see that. So this is the aggregated query. It will launch mapper, it will launch reducer, but this looks like a big query, right? Suppose I'm a non-business user, uh, and I don't know this queries. I want to check this as a form of view. So this view gives me one operation to simplify this query and create with the view name. So let me write this query first, and then I'll talk about this viewpoint, how this view can be helpful. So this is just one group by query to check your category count. Can we run this query here? Select category count star from table name, which is txn records, group by category. So group by gives us data in key value form. We know that. Let's wait. This will take a while, a minute or 1.5 minutes to complete, because this is again expensive operation. It is going to map reduce and doing all that follow through from interface to node manager, and again coming back to complete the cycle. So we get the total count for each category, right? How many values we have there. If you add all this value, you'll get total 50,000 rows. So um, what I want to do, I want to give a simple view for this, and I'll say create view and view name. Create view and view name. Let's say view name is cat as this. This is very simple. What it does, it just created a view. Now cat is there. If I check show tables, so I hope you know how the view thing is working in database, right? View is not new. View is very old concept. What it says. So let me provide one view here. I'll create view with the name as cat, and then I'll give this query, same query exactly. Select category count star from TXN records group by category. So it's a simplified way of this query, okay, uh, for business users. And now they're not running this query. They don't understand. They say, okay, can I check the total count for category? I said, okay, I've created a view for you. This view is there, and this is like a table only. If I check describe and this, it will tell me category. Then if I run a query, and how do I check this data? I'll say select a star from cat. If I submit this, it will do this operation only. If I submit this query, it will do this operation only. So view is one logical creation, which is giving exactly same data, but just simplified your query and easy enough for business users to send this data, or non-business users who are not technical, and check the record. So you can create a view and tell them that this is how you can check it. Okay. After view and alter configuration, next very important point, which I promised you to discuss, is the difference between, this is very important by the way, in terms of performance and number of reducer, how they're using. Okay. We have seen order by. I'll run all this query one by one for you. Order by, group by we have seen, group by, sort by, cluster by, and distribute by. Distribute by. This is 5 operations which we do more often in Hive to get the aggregate result. Order by, we know this by default. So let's take one by one. Order by. Order by will by default give you the output in ascending or descending order, right? So they can give you the output by default is ascending order. If it is number, ascending number. If it is a string value, okay. If it is a string value, I'll give example of a string, because number we already know 1 2 3 4 5 is ascending order. But how about a string? String will come in a lexicographical order. So this is known as a lexicographical order. Just like alphabet, this is a terminology we are using to make it more complex. But if I say in English, this is alphabet, alphabetical order. Okay. So let's go there and see how this order by will work by default. And do I have any provision to pass ASC or DESC, ascending and descending? This is the output of my view, which gives me output in almost same time, I think. This was in 99.2 seconds, page to 50, 15 rows. This is 57.33. That's okay, but CPU performance is sometime intensive, sometime not intensive. It has nothing to do with it because both operations are reading the file from hard disk, as in your local disk. It's not stored somewhere in memory. This is not a memory intensive operation. Now I want to know the order by first. So I'll run this query. First we'll check disk txn records and which is a string. So I'll say string category I want to take. Okay, this category I want to take. Now, or I can take any string. Okay, not necessary that I'll have to take this only. I can take any string. Let me take product because category we have seen a lot in our example. Select a star from txn records order by product. So when you submit this all query, all 5 query, reducer will work because all these 5 queries are aggregation query. Group by we have seen already. I'll not run group by. Group by is more costlier operation compared to order by and sort by. I will tell you why. So let's run all these three first: order by, group by, sort by. Then we'll compare one by one. Remember, you're running this query on product column. So product will come in a lexicographical order or alphabets. Number of mapper and reducer will be 1 because uh, the volume of data which I'm taking is less than 128 MB. If it is more than 128 MB, then number of mapper will be multiple. No, 2 will come, but if you need a data, right? You need a 2 block to process that data. Then number of mapper will be 2. Okay, so can I go and see my product? If I check my product, this is actually 50,000 result. I should have said limit 10. Difficult to check all these things. Okay, let me do one thing. Can I run here limit 10 top 10 records for product order by? This will take a less time because I'm only fetching top 10 rows. Okay, top 10 rows. And which one is my product column here? I can map it using desk and table name, which is txn records. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, this is third, this is fourth amount, this is fifth, this is sixth. Yeah, got it. So you can see it here. Top 10 records. We have many results, but they started from lexicographical order. So in order they're giving. Okay. So if I go there and check result one by one, I can get the better view in Hue. So when you practice, you can go and check this in Hue. But I hope you understand this point. This is giving me data in a alphabetical orders. So A is there. If I give 20, maybe if I give 1000, they go like this: A, B, C, D till Z. This is how it will go in order by. Okay. Now, do I have any provision to set order by as descending? Can I say order by product and DESC? So if you check my now top 10 record, this is in descending order, right? This is an opposite of ascending. So we know ascending and descending, top to bottom and bottom to top again. So we know order by. We already know group by. In order by, what they're doing, they're just maintaining the order. That's it. But in group by, actually they're doing two types of operation. They're checking each category. Okay, this is what is happening. Let me take one example here. So I have, suppose I'm talking about employee of Pervertic, and there are ID, there are their name, we have their city, we have their salary and designation. Okay. ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Name we have Raj. And we have some name here. Okay. Our city is Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad. And some salaries there. And designation is there. Okay. So this guy is, say, architect. This is digital marketing. This is manager. This is developer. This is admin. We have some sample data. Now I want to use order by here based on salary or based on city. So order by, if I use salary, it will take this first, then this first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Order by will take in a ascending order. If it is numerical value, if it is city, in a lexicographical order, B will come first, then B again, then H, then P. Okay, we know alphabets. So they're just meant they're working with column by column. But if I'm doing group by, what is my query saying group by? Group by city. So I want to count per city how much salary this company is giving to their employee. Now, when I do this, and this is my query, this is my query, select salary, count star, oh, sorry, select, let's say salary only, count star from from table name group by salary. And I want to check this count star with the field name city. So I want to count based on the city. When I do this, what this group by is doing, what this query is doing, they're aggregating the salary based on the city. So they are doing this aggregation row by row. Whatever city related to Pune, they will aggregate, say Pune. So this result and this result is from Pune. This result and this result is from Bangalore. And one result we have for Hyderabad. They will aggregate this. So two operations is happening. First, they're checking, okay, this is key, this is value. This is key again, this is value. Then they're aggregating it. Internally, what operation is happening there? They're checking this key, right? First, they pick up this Pune key and they aggregate it. They say 25K plus 42K. Then they'll pick up second key, which is Bangalore, and then again they'll aggregate 32,000 and 29,000. 32K and 29K. Then they will pick up the last one, HYD, which is 60K. So two operation. First they select the key and then they did aggregation, right? In order by, I'm just checking the orders of it. I'm not doing any aggregations query. Okay, I'm maintaining their order in ascending and descending. So group by is more expensive. Group by is more expensive operation than order by. If I compare this two. Now next example, if I take, can I do sort by? So sort by I find very similar as order by. Let me run the same query with sort by. How this is giving us different result. So I want to compare it with, one second, order by. Okay, this is order by. Here I will just change this to sort by, and I'll run the same query so that it is easier for me to validate. Sort by product, and again say limit 10. By default, sort by is also working based on ascending and descending order. That uh, sorting is already defined. Okay, by default always it's a ascending order. In cell like Hive also, in programming language like Scala, Python, Java also, by default it is always ASC. Now if you see here in sort by, there are two stages started. I'll tell you what is this two stage. Okay, there are two stages. This is my first stage, this is my second stage. Okay, so output, if you check here, for order by and sort by, output is same, but why they are creating two stages, one second, their stages is coming because they are doing one aggregation. There's a small difference between, let me find out that difference. So this output is coming of product order by, okay, 31143. Sort by is doing, this result is different order wise, okay, because in order by this is coming at first row, but why it is coming as first row, I'm finding that. Let me see the difference actually, okay. I think result wise this is unclear little, but output is very similar, because what output I'm looking for, using sort by and using order by, they're giving me same. So if I get an option that can you use order by or sort by, I'll use order by at any time, because they're giving me just one piece in output. They're taking more time to give me the output. This is coming in some 103.975 seconds, and second there I'm getting this output in very less time, which is just a 57.97 seconds. Okay, theoretical difference I will tell you. Let me find the difference critically. So this is about sort by and order by, almost same output, just a small difference between their stages, which I'll bring. Let me do some R&D here first. So after sort by, we know this 3 point, order by, group by, sort by. Again, I can check based on descending order or ascending order. And there is another option as cluster by. So cluster by works for fourth type is cluster by. Okay, cluster by is actually a combination of sort by and distribute by. Sort by and distribute by. This is the uh, combination. I'll come to that. Uh, yeah, I'll come to that part. Just wait. Order cluster by. So cluster by is doing this both the operations internally, sort by and distribute by. Okay, so what is a distribute by concept? Distribute by we'll see first, then we'll go to see the cluster by. And the distribute by is here as fifth option. Distribute by says if you're applying distribute by in any column, okay, so if you apply distribute by in any column, all that column data, okay, so all that column data, which means row by row, all that column data which is in row by row as in rows goes to a single reducer. This is what is happening. When you say distribute by, so let me go with the syntax here. This is a distribute by syntax. Okay. So if I say select ID, name, these two things from a table name, distribute by ID. Now what will happen? I have my table for ID, name, salary, city, their salary and their designation. This is my table, right? And I have some result stored in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, P, D, D, H, 25K, 30K, 40K, 50K. Some data is, I'm just putting a data. And designation is admin, developer, architect, manager. Okay. When I say distribute by ID, which means this, so what will happen? This is having four record, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four rows are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this whole row result, this complete row result will go to this complete row result one by one. It will go to only one reducer, only one reducer, which means only one reduced task, only one reduced task, which means if my file size is bigger, right? If my file size is bigger, so they will take more time. Suppose I have 3 GB data in a map task. I have this 3 GB data in a map task. So when my map task is done, I get this 3 GB of information from there. If I read this in form of block, I will say total there are 24 block, because 1 GB is having 8 block. So 3 GB will have 24 block. 24 block is processed by map task, and this 24 block is going to one reduced task, which means in distribute by, if I have this type of data which are coming with just one column, okay, which is just coming with one column, I don't have any provision to provide multiple reducer, which means output I will get it. I'm not talking about output here. Output I will get it here, but performance wise this is not good. You're giving the whole map task output in one reducer only. So you should define it to multiple reducer, which distribute by cannot do. Then who can do that? This cluster by can do that with the help of sort by and distribute by. I'll come again to this sort by. As I told you, I'll do R&D on this. So this is my R&D currently. Let's read this distribute by first, then we'll go to cluster by, and then I'll explain you what is the difference between order by and sort by. So in a nutshell, I can say distribute by is taking the rows for that particular column where I'm applying this distribute by concept and taking their rows and sending into one reducer only. The reducer number is one only. Let's run this. So select, you suggest me to run this for, let's say, desk txn records, and there are total 9 result. I will say select amount, and I want to get city also. I want to get city also. Set city amount. City wise I want to check the amount. Okay. From table name, which is txn records, distribute by amount. Distribute by amount. If I run this, let's wait for the result. Then it will be easy to visualize. Okay, so what they did, they applied this distribute by on which column? On amount column. Okay, and they have distributed this result. They have distributed this result for city. So distribute by is taking this whole result of amount and sending it to one reducer. So internally they are doing different operation, okay, just to increase the performance. Some are decreasing the performance. So your job is to run the query which are more optimized. And comparing, if you're comparing this, the best comparison is you run all 5 queries for one table, for one specific record, and you'll know, okay, this is more better in terms of performance. This is less performing. Okay, and based on that you can decide which one to operate. Now if I apply here a cluster by, which is my last operation, based on the query, then I'll come to sort by and order by. If I apply the cluster by, I'm just doing the same operation. Look at here, just like this I will run the same operation here, but instead of distribute by, I will run now cluster by and submit. Okay, so here if you check what is happening, since my data size is less than 128 MB, right? Currently my data size is less than 128 MB, my data block. That's why I cannot see exactly how many reducer they are selecting. This query is selecting cluster by, this cluster by is selecting, but suppose I have in this amount column, I have total 1 billion result. For example, in this amount column, I have 1 billion result. Okay. And this 1 billion result is total having a size as 500 MB, which is very less I'm taking. Okay. Or let's say 5000 MB, somewhere close to 5 GB. So 1 billion total size is 5000 MB. If I apply distribute by, in my case number one, if I apply distribute by amount, what is happening? This data, all 1 billion data or all this 5000 MB result is actually going to just one reducer. So definitely this will take more time to process, to aggregate this. But if I'm using cluster by, internally what cluster by is doing, okay, internally this cluster by, which is my second case, what this is doing, this is sending two different reduce tasks based on the size. So if I set as 5, it will send to 5. Otherwise, if it is using by default number, whatever is set as by default, they will use it. But this is for one reducer. This is for multiple reducer. This is for multiple reducer. I can check the time also. And when I'm running reduce by, when I'm running, when I'm running distribute by, when I'm running cluster by, what is the total time that my system is taking? Okay. So I'll perform when you want to work with this. Okay. Use GCP, guys. Okay. Because currently in this local system, we have one CPU. So it's taking all this thing in one CPU and processing it. But if I want to check with 2 CPU or 4 CPU or 5 CPU, you can test it there. Definitely you'll see the performance in time. Now, what is the difference between sort by and order by? There was a question. So order by is taking your data, like this department data, taking this data in ascending order or descending order, right? Then sort by, how this is different. This is also doing ascending order and descending order. Just the way you have seen the difference between cluster by and distribute by. What cluster by is doing? Cluster by is a combination of sort by and distribute by, right? Cluster by is a combination of sort by and distribute by. So if you want to send your data to multiple reducer, right? Who is doing that in cluster by? In cluster by, obviously reduce by is not doing that. That is done by sort by. So order by is sending all this data, all this departmental information. Doesn't matter you have 1 million or one record or 1 billion, they send it to one reducer only. They send it to one reducer only. But sort by is actually sending it to multiple reducers. To increase the performance, better high performance. Okay. So if I have more volume of data, high volume data in the column uh, where I'm applying order by, I will choose sort by. If I have less volume and I want to use ascending or descending order, I'll not use sort by, I'll use an order by. Okay, this is difference between these two. Group by, we already have, this is standing different from all this. So comparison you can do with this and this, and second comparison you can do with cluster by and distribute by. But question, in cluster by, who is sending your data to multiple reducer? Obviously this is not sending, then this is sending. Sort by. Okay, so there's a theoretical concept written for all these 5 concept: order by, group by, sort by, cluster by, distribute by. I'll share that link. Okay, so you can spend some time there, read about it. If still you find any issues, let me know. We can discuss definitely about it. But this is one operation for optimization query, uh, where I can apply all this for aggregation. This is all for aggregation, guys. All 5 queries for aggregation, and my output is same, right? If you check, my output is not different. What output I'm checking, this is giving me the same thing, only the difference in time, total execution time.